Introducing the revolutionary T-Stat VLS tissue oximeter from Spectros. On the back of the monitor, there is a power switch located just above the power connection. When you turn on the T-Stat, it will begin warming up and automatically run a self-test. This ensures the accuracy of the T-Stat during monitoring. An introductory screen will then appear. On the left side of the screen, you may see as many as 5 touchscreen menu buttons. Active menu buttons are highlighted in yellow. At this time, you may select a menu button to change alarm limits, time, or displayed language, or to attach a T-Stat sensor and begin patient monitoring. For a complete discussion and for a listing of all menu choices, please consult your T-Stat operating manual. Let's briefly review setting the alarm. To change alarm limits, select the Alarm Limits button. On the alarm screen, you will see both low saturation and high saturation limits displayed. As an example, we will now set a lower saturation limit of 35%. The oxygenation limit alarm may also be disabled or merely silenced for 2 minutes. To disable the alarm, press Disable Alarm. A red X will appear over the bell button in the lower corner. The bell and red X will remain visible during monitoring to remind you the alarm is off. The bar you pressed will now say Enable Alarm. To re-enable the alarm, press the same button again. To temporarily silence an alarm for 2 minutes, press the blue and yellow bell. This button remains visible during monitoring and can be used during monitoring to temporarily silence the alarm. To exit alarm setup, press Hide Alarm Limits. You may also access and change alarm limits while monitoring a patient by selecting the same yellow Alarm Limits button, also visible during monitoring. To connect a sensor to the monitor, it is important to notice that each sensor has a red mark that must be lined up with a mark on the face of the T-Stat. If these marks are not properly lined up, sensor damage is likely to occur during insertion. Next, simply insert the connector completely into the socket until it is flush against the face of the T-Stat, taking care to ensure that the marks are aligned. Now, holding the top of the sensor's connector, rotate the connector a quarter turn clockwise. The mark on the connector will now line up with the mark at the locked position on the monitor. When properly inserted and rotated, the light source will come on and a sensor validation will be initiated. If both of these steps do not occur, check the sensor for proper insertion. If you are using a T-Stat monitor that accepts 2 or more sensors, make sure you note which sensor corresponds with which value on monitor display. Labels placed on the sensor cables can help increase clarity. You are now ready to begin monitoring your patient. To begin monitoring a patient, simply press Start. In some cases, monitoring may begin automatically once validated. Each sensor requires a few moments to adjust the light level, indicated by an Acquiring Signal status message at the bottom left of the screen. Once the T-Stat is monitoring, the status will change to Monitoring. Let's review the features of the T-Stat monitor display. The largest number is tissue saturation. In multi-sensor monitors, more than one saturation may appear. The smaller number is tissue hemoglobin content. This is useful in certain procedures, such as free tissue transfers. The trend shows saturation and/or hemoglobin. Typically, a trend is shown over 20 minutes, as shown here in the top right of the screen. The displayed interval may be changed by pressing the yellow plus or minus button from as short as 4 minutes to as long as 4 days. The sensor type is displayed at the top left of the screen, in this case, the surface sensor. At the bottom of the screen, we see light level, shown here in green. Yellow indicates marginal light, and red indicates insufficient or excess light. At the right, date and time are displayed. The bell-shaped alarm indicator will flash red during alarm and can be pressed to temporarily silence an alarm. To demonstrate the unmatched and rapid response of the T-stat, we will block blood flow to a digit by squeezing the arteries running along the sides of each digit. When blocking arterial flow, tissue saturation drops rapidly over only a few seconds and rapidly falls into the abnormal range. Here we have set the alarm limit at 35. When flow is returned, the saturation jumps and rapidly returns to normal. This is a simple and safe demonstration you can perform on yourself. There are two options when pausing or stopping the monitoring. If you want to pause monitoring but keep the trend data in Monitor and resume monitoring later, then press Pause. Pause will appear in the lower screen. This allows sensors to be repositioned or the patient to leave the bed without alarming. Probes should not be changed while paused. If you are done monitoring and are ready to shut down the monitor, or if you wish to change a sensor, press Pause, then Done. Once Done has been pressed, the T-stat monitor may be safely shut down. However, once Done is pressed, or the monitor power is switched off, any trend data is erased. Each T-stat comes with a quick reference guide explaining powering on and off, basic operation, properly connecting, disconnecting, and troubleshooting Q&A. If you still have questions, you may check our information online at www.spectros.com or contact your Spectros representative. To contact Spectros directly, you may call 1-877-TSTAT-30. or send us an email at info@spectros.com. Thank you for your interest in the revolutionary broadband T-stat tissue oximeter from Spectros.